Arriving for EntreCon, Studer Community Institute's two-day Business and Leadership Conference in downtown Pensacola, Abraham Sculley and Penny Cornaggia immediately felt the vibe.
Super vibrant, energetic. I think just everyone coming together in similar roles in terms of wanting to make an impact in our communities and are passionate about doing that. We could definitely feel that energy.
There's so much energy. Like, everyone's so happy and positive, and we're all going to take all of these experiences about leadership and take them back to the office.
The promise quickly turned to payout as they settled in for the first world-class keynote speaker, Rohan Freeman. The award-winning entrepreneur based in Connecticut is also an accomplished mountaineer who has climbed the world's 7 summits. He blended both passions into an inspiring presentation.
Get a Sherpa, because you're going to find yourself at places like this. Not just on the mountain, but in your business. And what do you do then? You want to tackle this by yourself if you've never done it, or do you want to get somebody to help you along?
He used the analogy about having a Sherpa. And myself, being an entrepreneur, a go-getter, someone who wants to get it done and wants to get it done right, sometimes I fall into the trap of I can do it all versus identifying who can I bring onto my team to fill in those holes and can be strong where I'm not as strong. So that was really encouraging for me.
My favorite was building your rope team, which I really thought was cool because you can't do it alone. You need help, and you need a team that can support you. That was huge for me.
The second keynote from Jennifer McCullum on making the most of your leadership also proved impactful.
Oftentimes, people don't know their own superpowers or strengths until it's reflected back to them by someone who sees it. And when we do that, how do they feel about being part of our organization? Next up, a short stroll to Bodacious Shops for a lunch and learn session on having critical conversations.
It's okay to be honest, right? It's best to be honest.
Sculley and Cornaggia then headed in different directions for breakout tracks. For Sculley, attending with his wife Fanny, the entrepreneur-focused path, a natural choice. 2 years ago, he started Speaks to Inspire, a mental health programming and consulting agency. Over the 2 days, the entrepreneur track offered valuable sessions on negotiation skills, using curiosity to fuel creativity, and a fresh mindset about scaling. That talk, by Pensacola Collab's Patrick Rooney, included a pivotal message to think about scaling very early on.
With the approach, oftentimes it's let's get some success first, and then we think about scaling. So just shifting the perspective on, okay, how can I think about scaling in terms of pricing and how I'm delivering this service or product even before getting with launching. So that was very impactful for me.
Cornaggia gravitated towards the leadership breakout track. She's a property manager for Catalyst Healthcare Real Estate. She attended sessions on quiet quitting, accountability, women in the workplace, and a presentation by Julie Birch, a leadership coach from Texas, on becoming a change leader.
So the first thing I said to you was to change 3 things about yourself. Did you hear the tone of the room? Y'all went, oh.
My favorite part about what she said was the like getting past the phase is when the magic happens, and it's so true. Like, I never thought about it like that until she said it. We're constantly creating new SOPs, and things are changing constantly at Catalyst. It's super helpful to not get in your head about change and to let yourself grow.
Day one's final keynote speaker, Tim Kinsella, transfixed everyone. The former commanding officer at NAS Pensacola, Kinsella focused on self-awareness as a path to success at work and life. A wonderful blend of humor and inspiration delivered a tremendous impact.
Leadership isn't just from the top down. Leadership goes up and down and all around. Leadership is from everybody.
Leading with love is one of the huge things I took away from Captain Tim. Caring about the folks you're around, and everyone matters in your team, and leading comes from all directions, not just up.
You cannot be a good leader if you don't look after yourself. You cannot. It's impossible. It doesn't work.
It really stood out for me to hear Captain talk about the importance of taking care of yourself, because if you're not well, it's going to affect every other area that you try to be effective in.
EntreCon kept delivering on day 2, starting with a keynote by Kristen Hadid. A super dynamic thought leader, CEO, and author, Hadid shared a lot of outside-the-box ideas to change the world through human leadership.
When we stopped focusing on retention and we started focusing on helping people build as much identity capital as possible, what do you think happened? People didn't want to leave.
Yet another game-changing keynote followed with Blaine Harding. The widely respected former Director of Diversity Engagement at Virginia Tech used his unique blend of academia and personality to deliver a thought-provoking presentation and follow-up lunch and learn on creating inclusive workplaces.
If you're going to treat people equally, that means you're going to treat them differently according to what they need in order to succeed. I think my last slide is the most important one. Give grace.
The biggest surprise was grace. Giving people grace and understanding that we're human and we might not know, and teaching and helping them learn. It's super helpful.
One thing that stood out for me in his session was he said, your worldview is not the only worldview. And I think oftentimes I can see only what I can see, but I also have blind spots. So being able to connect with other people who think differently, who process differently, who have different visions, goals, and dreams, it helps me to then see a broader worldview that can help to impact change.
On top of all the difference-making knowledge, another huge benefit of the EntreCon experience is next-level networking.
I know the name of these folks or like the companies, but I've never gotten a chance to actually commiserate with them. So that was super valuable.
The connections that were made with other entrepreneurs who are young like myself and are passionate, are creating businesses and thinking about scaling, and having those types of conversations just to hear other perspectives and be around communities of individuals who are similar to me, have goals for themselves, I think would be very powerful just to nurture these relationships that I made throughout the conference.
EntreCon concluded on another high note with the final keynote by internationally regarded healthy workforce expert Renee Thompson. Her presentation provided pivotal mental and physical strategies to go from exhausted to extraordinary.
If you really paid attention to the entire last 2 days, a lot of this was really about making sure that you're okay first, because you can't be the leader that you need to be if you're so focused on everyone else.
2 days chock full of learning, growth, inspiration, and connection, all added up to an EntreCon experience to treasure.
This almost sets me up for a leadership trajectory in a sense. I'm already a property manager, but I don't manage anybody. So this is like a window here, a window of opportunity for me now to have sort of these tools under my belt to take it to the next level. So I'm really excited.
Thankful to Studer Community Institute for creating this space, number one. Oftentimes I'm looking at conferences, different things to do, and I do have to travel, but being able to be home and connect with people from all across the country, and then also those who are local, the space was definitely a safe one and an opportunity to build meaningful connections that will go beyond EntreCon this year. Is it awkward for you at all? Camera following you around?
You can learn more about EntreCon at entreconpensacola.com. And to get involved in everything Studer Community Institute provides for business leaders and entrepreneurs, visit studeri.org.